Hello, welcome to what's more or less my final video for this Ninja Turtle retrospective, and it's also kind of a bonus video, because I was not going to look at this movie originally, because frankly, I forgot it existed. The only reason I'm doing it is because it was brought to my attention in the first video, because someone in the comments pointed out I mentioned 10 movies, and the person was smart enough to realize that I was leaving out this one. And here's the thing, I have never seen it before until this retrospective. And since this is my first time looking at it, this will be a new experience for both me and everyone watching who also haven't seen it. Let's get right to it. The special begins innocently enough with the Turtles giving chase on Tiger Claw, who is teamed up with Bebop and Rocksteady, mostly because they were given a mission to steal something from the museum. But when they arrive, the Turtles are already there to ambush them. But before the ambush, they end up coming across what they are looking for. A mysterious crystal that was somehow around during the dinosaur period. And right as the Turtles get ready to do something, Mikey accidentally destroys an exhibit out of curiosity. And with their cover blown, we have a nice little action sequence where the Turtles get away with the crystal, keeping it out of their hands, and not returning it right away. The reason they don't return it right away is because Donatello wants to use it to power his newest invention, which Mikey describes as a shell former. Yeah, it's pretty much just a new turtle van with like 4 different transformations on it. While Bebop and Rocksteady hitch a ride on this thing while it turns into jet mode, the turtles end up flying too fast and end up time traveling back to prehistoric times. While in the past, Leonardo wants to go home immediately, but his brothers actually want to stick around and look at all the dinosaurs for a few minutes before heading back. After some brief hijinks with Raphael getting his side taken away by a dinosaur, they end up getting attacked by raptors. For a brief moment, they think Mikey scared off the raptors, but instead it was just an even bigger dinosaur coming to attack them. During their failed attempt at trying to hide in a log, the T-Rex sends them flying, where they end up getting separated. Mostly Raphael, who gets taken in by a pterodactyl. The rest of the turtles do make it back to what's more or less a time machine, in hopes of finding Raphael easier. While this is all happening, we see Bebop and Rocksteady get kidnapped by villains I kinda wish were in the other Ninja Turtle movies. The rest of the turtles do eventually meet up with Raphael again, and not too long after, they get attacked by another dinosaur, as well as the one that was trying to kill them earlier. But luckily for them, the vehicle they were driving around in had the battle mode, which is pretty much a giant turtle robot. After a pretty amusing fight sequence where they fend off the dinosaurs, the power crystal they were using to get there runs out of energy and now they're stuck in the past. After some exploring, the turtles come across a Triceraton mining operation where they're using dinosaurs as slave animals to help. Okay, now here's the thing about the Triceratons. They were not just random villains they came up with for this special. They've been around since the very first comic, showed up in an episode of the old cartoon, made several appearances in the 2003 show, which were also some of my favorite episodes of that show, and the 2012 show, which this special is connected to. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future we'd see them again. And in all honesty, I'm just happy at least one of these movies has these villains. Anyways, let's get back to the film. And for better or for worse, they happen to be mining the exact crystals the turtles need to get back home. The turtles try to sneak onto the site in hopes of getting a crystal to get themselves back home. It doesn't really go too well. They even send a bunch of robot raptors after the turtles, which leads to them having to retreat. They try to fight them off, but it doesn't exactly go as well as they'd like it to. But thankfully, some of the dinosaurs that the turtles have befriended throughout the special come to their aid. After this, we see Bebop and Rocksteady get put into custody by the Triceratons, and it literally takes them no time at all to break free, and during their escape attempt, we get some Donkey Kong references, and we see the head general running the operation here. Also, Bebop and Rocksteady get captured almost immediately afterwards. Again. And it's also around here where we get an explanation as to what they're trying to use the crystals for. Yeah, the head general gives an explanation that's rather vague, but since this is a special made for little kids, I'll cut it some slack. We then cut back to the turtles recommending Donatello he befriend a dinosaur, seeing how the other three have already done so. And they figured having all four of them with dinosaur friends would make their fight against the Triceratons a lot easier. And luckily for Donatello, he was able to do so by feeding a T-Rex a really gross slice of pizza that Michelangelo just happened to have in his pocket. And thankfully, it couldn't have happened at a better time, seeing as they get ambushed by Triceratons. Donnie's new dinosaur friend does scare off the Triceratons almost immediately, and the turtles get the interesting idea to dress up in caveman attire and take the fight to the Triceratons. They even go as far as to make caveman versions of their weapons. Now that they're all ready, they head over to their base to free the dinosaur, defeat the Triceratons, and hopefully get a crystal to head home. And this climax is mostly the turtles fighting robot dinosaurs and the Triceratons, and eventually Bebo and Rocksteady deciding to lend a hand. And after that, they get the time machine up and running again, and they head home. But unfortunately, it looks like they might have gone a little too far forward, because when they get back, the world is taken over by the Shredder. And then the movie just happens to abruptly end. And that concludes my look at Half Shell Heroes. I know I kept referring to it as a movie a few times, but here's the thing. It's only 45 minutes long. And in some countries, at least in Japan as far as I'm aware, they can just release like an episode of a show and have it like 5 minutes longer and call it a movie, so screw it. I'm calling this a movie. And for what it is, it's okay. Like, if you have little kids, I think they'll love it fine. If you're an older fan, set your expectations a little low because you're probably not the target demographic. Well, that technically concludes my retrospective on all the Ninja Turtle movies. Yep. So many movies. Can you believe it? So, what's next for my channel? Well, seeing as how I'm making a video week after week after week consistently was kind of a weird thing to do, seeing how I'm still really new at this. I think I might just take a break. Just a small one. Like, I do plan on coming back later in the year. And don't worry, this isn't the only Ninja Turtle thing I'm doing. I plan on doing more Ninja Turtle related stuff throughout the year, as well as other things. And for everyone who stuck around from part 1 up to this, I thank you for watching, and I hope to make more videos in the future, and who knows, if I'm still around in 10 years, I might redo these videos again. But with what I've learned throughout the times, thank you for watching.